Hello everyone, welcome back to the OMS Masterclass series. In the last episode, we understood how Manhattan Active Omni fits into a retail ecosystem and how it connects with different enterprise systems. In this episode, we are going to explore the major functional modules inside MAO. Whenever you start working on a real project, these are the modules you'll hear about almost every day. We will understand what each module is responsible for, why it exists, and how all these modules work together to process a customer order. By the end of this session, you will have a clear picture of how MAO is organized and how all these modules work together. Let's get started. Before we look at each module individually, let's first see the bigger picture. MAO isn't just one page where everything happens. It's organized into different functional modules and each one has a specific responsibility. Some modules handle customer orders, some work with inventory, some focus on sourcing or fulfillment, while others support payments, returns, and customer service. There are also platform modules like configuration, administration, and store fulfillment that help manage and control the application. Think of this as different teams working inside the same application. Together, they make the entire order process possible. Now, here is something interesting. These modules don't work independently. They are all connected through the same customer order. For example, when a customer places an order, it first goes through order management. Then inventory checks product availability. If required, sourcing decides where the order should be fulfilled from. Payments validates the transaction and fulfillment takes care of shipping the order. Even after delivery, modules like customer service and returns continue supporting the order whenever needed. So, it's still the same customer order. It's just moving through different modules with each one doing its part before handing it over to the next. Let's start with the order management module. This is where most OMS users spend their time because this is where customer orders are created, searched, and managed. The first thing you will usually do is search for an order. You can search using the order number, customer details, or even the current order status. Once you open an order, you can view the complete order details, everything from customer information and line items to shipment details and the events that happened during the order's journey. You will also see the current order status, so it's easy to understand exactly where the order is in its life cycle. If a business issue comes up, you can place the order on hold to temporarily stop further processing. Sometimes an order needs to be cancelled before it's fulfilled, or certain details like the quantity, address, or items needs to be modified. Those actions are also handled here. Apart from this, you will also find useful features like order history, line management, split orders, order timeline, and order notes, which help you understand and manage the complete order from start to finish. So, if someone asks you which module you'll use the most while working with customer orders, order management is usually the answer. The next module is inventory, and this is also one of the most important modules in MAO. Whenever a customer wants to buy an item, the very first question is, can I actually promise this item to the customer? That's exactly what the inventory module answers. It starts with inventory visibility, which gives a complete view of stock across all stores, warehouses, and fulfillment locations. Then MAO calculates ATS, available to sell. This tells us how many units can actually be promised to customers right now. It also keeps track of reserved inventory and available inventory, where reserved inventory means the stock that is already allocated to existing orders. Available inventory means the stock that is still free to use for new orders. Finally, safety stock acts as a buffer to make sure businesses don't accidentally oversell their inventory. This module also includes features like available to promise, future inventory, and inventory adjustments. In today's episode, the goal is simply to understand what each of these terms means and why they are important. In a future episode, we will take a detailed look at how inventory works inside MAO, including ATS, ATP, reservations, and inventory calculations with practical examples. So, in short, the inventory module helps MAO make the right promise to the customer by always knowing what inventory is available, what is already reserved, and what can still be sold. The next module is fulfillment. Receiving an order is just the beginning. The real work starts when that order needs to be physically delivered to the customer. That's exactly what the fulfillment module takes care of. It all starts with the order. Once the order is ready, the warehouse team begins the pick process, where the required items are collected from the warehouse shelves. After that comes pack, where the items are packed, labeled, and prepared for shipping. Then the order is shipped, which means it handed over to the delivery carrier. And finally, the customer receives the order and the status becomes delivered. Along this way, this module also handles warehouse execution, shipment creation, shipment confirmation. So, warehouse execution means where pickers and packers process the order. Shipment creation means where the shipping details and labels are generated. Shipment confirmation means which confirms that the shipment has been picked up by the carrier. Sometimes, a single order may be delivered in multiple packages. That's handled through split shipments. And once the shipment is on its way, customers can also track it through shipment tracking. For now, just understand how the fulfillment journey works. In a future episode, we will explore the complete fulfillment process in detail with real business scenarios. In short, I can say that fulfillment module converts a promised order into a successful physical delivery. The next module is sourcing. Once an order is created and inventory is available, MAO has to answer one important question: which location should fulfill this order? That's exactly what the sourcing module does. It looks at all the possible fulfillment locations like a store, a distribution center, or even a vendor and decides which one is the best choice. But this decision isn't random. MAO evaluates multiple factors such as business rules, customer preference, inventory availability, delivery promise, distance, cost, capacity, and allocation rules. Based on all these conditions, it selects the location that can fulfill the order in the most efficient way. Today, just remember that sourcing is all about choosing the best fulfillment location. In a future episode, we will explore sourcing logic, sourcing rules, and a real business scenarios in much more detail. In short, the sourcing module ensures every order is fulfilled from the right location at the right time. The next two modules are returns and exchanges and customer service. Once an order is delivered, the journey isn't always over. A customer might want to return a product, exchange it for a different one, or request a refund. That's exactly where the returns and exchanges module comes into the picture. It manages the complete post-purchase process, including returns, refunds, exchanges, return authorization, and deciding where the returned item should be sent. Alongside that, we have the customer service module. This is where support teams handle day-to-day customer requests. They can search for customers, modify eligible orders, arrange reshipments, cancel orders, add notes, review customer communications, and view the complete order history. Today, we are simply understanding the purpose of these modules. In upcoming episodes, we will explore return workflows, exchange scenarios, refund processing, and customer service operations with practical business examples. Together, these modules help deliver a smooth customer experience even after the order has been completed. The next module is payments. Before an order is fulfilled, MAO needs to make sure the payment is successful. That's the responsibility of the payment module. It usually starts with authorization, where the payment gateway verifies that the customer has sufficient funds or credit. Once the order is ready to be fulfilled, the payment is captured, which means the money is actually collected. If an order is cancelled before capture, the authorization can be reversed. And if the payment has already been captured, MAO can process a refund. Some orders also support split payments, where a customer pays using more than one payment method, and the payment status helps track whether the payment is authorized, captured, pending, or failed. MAO works with different payment gateways to communicate with banks and payment providers. This module also includes features like payment retry for failed payment attempts and support for multiple payment methods. Today we are just getting familiar with these payment concepts. In a dedicated episode, we will go deeper into the complete payment flow, different payment statuses, authorization versus capture, refunds, reversals, and real business scenarios. In simple terms, the payments module makes sure every order is financially validated before it moves forward. The last module is administration and configuration. Unlike the other modules we have discussed, this one isn't used for processing customer orders every day. Instead, it's mainly used during implementation, system setup, and ongoing support. This is where you define the organization structure, create users, assign roles and permissions, configure business rules, and manage different system configurations. You will also come across event configurations which help control how MAO responds when specific business event happen. This is the module where the application is actually tailored to match a company's business requirements. Most techno-functional consultants, administrators, and implementation teams spend a lot of time here because this is where the real business logic gets configured. For this fundamental series, it's enough to know what this module is responsible for. We are going to cover configurations in a completely separate series where we will build business scenarios and learn how each configuration works step by step. In short, administration and configuration is the module that defines how MAO behaves for a particular business. Now that we have understood the major MAO modules, let's see who typically works with these modules in a real project. Business users mainly work with the order management module to create and manage customer orders. Customer care teams mostly use customer service and returns to help customers with order updates, cancellations, returns, and exchanges. Warehouse users spend most of their time in the fulfillment module, where orders are picked, packed, and shipped. Similarly, inventory analysts focus on inventory management and stock availability. If you're working as a techno-functional consultant, you're going to interact with almost all the modules along with the configuration, because your responsibility is to understand business requirements and configure MAO based on those requirements. Developers mainly work on APIs, integrations, configurations, and customizations depending on the business requirements. And if you are a QA engineer, you'll probably work across almost every module because you'll be validating complete end-to-end business scenarios throughout the application. Every organization and project may have slightly different responsibilities, but this gives you a good understanding of how work is generally distributed across different teams in a typical MAO implementation. Before we end this episode, let's quickly recap what we have learned. First, MAO is divided into multiple modules, and each module is responsible for a specific business function. Second is every module has its own purpose. Instead of one screen doing everything, the work is divided across different modules. Third, Different teams use different modules depending on their role in the project. And finally, when all these modules work together, they manage the complete customer order journey from order creation to delivery. That's the big picture of how MA is organized. Now, let's see what's coming up in the next episode. That brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you now have a clear understanding of the major modules in Manhattan Active Omni and how each one plays a different role in the overall order management process. In the next episode, we will look at the complete customer order journey and understand the different order statuses you'll see as an order moves through MAO. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next episode.